Hey y'all, welcome back to Bird and Boost Food. So Paula and I have really been enjoying the virtual tastings that have been happening online during this quarantine time. One of the wineries that we've been following is Rutherford Hill. They've actually paired some amazing recipes with their wines. Today's recipe is a Hawaiian marinated steak paired with their Cabernet Sauvignon. I'm super excited to try this recipe, so follow along and I'll show you what I did. The first step is to make the marinade for our steaks. What you're going to do is you're going to take 2 cups of pineapple juice, add that to the bowl. A half a cup of soy sauce. We're using liquid aminos. Feel free to use low sodium soy sauce or whatever soy sauce you like. Add that. A half a cup of sugar, just using plain white sugar. 5 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And then 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. Then what we're going to do is whisk this together. Make sure that the sugar dissolves completely. Okay, that's pretty good. Now we're going to add 1/3 of a cup of chopped white onion. I'm using a Vidalia. It's about 1/4 of an onion, approximately. You're going to add that. And then you're going to add a 1-inch piece of peeled and chopped ginger. Add that. Okay. Give that a nice little stir. Now we're going to reserve 2 tablespoons of the marinade to add to our compound butter we're going to make to top the steaks when they're finished. So you want to take about 2 tablespoons. I'm going to set that aside. And now for our steaks. The recipe called for 2 bone-in ribeyes. Unfortunately, I was unable to find any bone-in ribeyes in my local market. They had a lot of boneless. They had some other cuts of meat. I called around to several places and no one seemed to have them. So what I decided to do was to use what I already had in the freezer, which I had some great filet steaks. Let them thaw overnight. Made sure to trim them up a little bit. What we're going to do with these is we're only going to let these marinate for about 2 hours. If you're going to do the ribeye steaks that have the bone in them, they can actually be marinated overnight up to a day. If you're going to use a tender piece of meat or something that does not have a bone, I would only recommend marinating for about 2 hours, maybe 3, just because the citrus and the acid in this marinade will break that super tender piece of meat down too quickly and you'll have mushy steak, which no one wants. We're going to add our steaks to a sealable bag. So we're going to add the steaks to the bag. I'm going to pour our marinade in. What we'll do is we'll seal this guy up. Try to get as much air out of it as possible. And then we'll take this and place it in our fridge for about 2 hours. Now for our compound butter. We have 4 tablespoons of unsalted room temperature butter. To this, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of sesame oil. We're going to whisk this together a little bit. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 tablespoons of reserved marinade liquid and we're going to add this to the butter. Whisk it in, hold it high, just keep whisking. Then we're going to add just a little sprinkle of salt until it's pretty much combined. Then what you're going to do is take a piece of parchment paper and we're going to carefully put our compound butter right in the middle. If you don't have parchment paper, you could also use wax paper. Right in the center. And carefully I'm going to try to roll this in some semblance of a log. Okay, we have our log. I'm going to pop this in the fridge to let harden while our steaks marinate. So we took our steaks out of the marinade, pat them dry, and let them come to room temperature. I've placed these on a medium-high grill. I'm going to grill them to about a medium temperature. Again, grill the steaks how you prefer. We're going to let these sit for a couple of minutes and I'll show you how we plate them. So we cooked our steaks till they're about medium in temperature. Now what we're going to do is top our steaks with the butter. Just like so. We've paired ours with a baked potato. I'm going to dress it here in a minute. You feel free to serve it with your favorite steamed vegetable, or this would also be great with a pineapple coconut type of rice. This meal is going to pair perfectly with the Rutherford Hill Sauvignon Blanc. For this recipe, make sure to go to rutherfordhill.com under their family recipes, and don't forget to go to broodandboozfood.com to check out our blog. If you like this video, make sure to hit subscribe. Also, make sure to go to Facebook and Instagram and follow us. We'll cook with you soon.